What's going on, guys? So for the brand new year of 2022, we have a development direction kind of Q&A from the China server. Now, keep in mind, China is a little bit different from the regions that we have of like Korea and the West, of course. But I still want to talk about it because they do talk about some future plans. And of course, some of these things will be coming to our regions in the future. Some of them won't. But still a good idea just to get some information until we eventually get our development letter sometime in 2022, most likely, as I don't think we'll get one in this month of December. So keep in mind the questions and answers are translated from the China server, so obviously not everything's going to make 100% sense, but you can get a decent idea of what they're talking about. So they mentioned that their answer is the first priority Unreal Engine 4 upgrade was for better optimization, of course. And they mentioned one of the biggest things they improved with Unreal Engine 4 was the stutter situation, which I definitely do agree with. I've noticed stuttering in the game really doesn't exist at all. Whenever I'm doing combat, my Blade Dancer, the stuttering is not there anymore. And it definitely was there with Unreal Engine 3. It was very annoying. And I feel like skills are more responsive with the new engine. So stuttering has definitely been improved. They talked about we're going to utilize Unreal Engine 4 functions. For example, more stuff like animation effects and making the static UI more vivid. So they want to make basically animations look more clean, look better, and have the UI look better. So those are two things they're working on. I wish they would have talked more about maybe fixing some main areas, like for example, Kodrat's Lair still is a pretty bad freeze and lag fest for people. Like even with Unreal Engine 4, Kodrat Lair is just for some reason awful. Mushin's Tower, of course, if you lower the shadows in your graphics setting, the FPS isn't too bad. But if you have your shadows up, for some reason that area has terrible FPS. Just certain little things like that I feel it should be addressed, and hopefully they will in the future, because those are things that are just kind of annoying, especially Kodrat's Lair, because it makes me not even want to run that content because it's just so terrible. Still, even with Unreal Engine 4. Is there a plan to add more field and RVR content? So basically adding more open world content, stuff like Soulstone Plains, adding more stuff like that. As new story unfolds, Northern Continent is going to open. And the Northern Continent is going to be another open world area that they're going to be adding in 2022 for China and Korea, and then eventually we'll get it for our region, of course. So hopefully with Unreal Engine 4 it doesn't run too bad, because as we all know, like stuff like Soulstone Plains has always been really bad, notoriously bad for having terrible FPS and freezes and drops. So hopefully Unreal Engine 4 can make that a little bit more smoother. I predict it'll be a little bit kind of like Kodrat's Lair, where it'll be a little bit maybe better than Unreal Engine 3, but there'll still be issues. Unfortunately, unless they really plan to address those in the future. Another question, they have any plans for social and clans? So this is something I noticed a lot. The clans in Blade are kind of, I don't know, I would say lackluster. Like there's so much stuff they could be doing with clans to make it more interesting, and having like clans to spiffit type content that isn't dead, like Soulstone Plains, which is basically dead content. It's been out for years and it's just not really ran, except by of course bots, of course. So I would like to see clans have more content benefit for them, and have more clan type group content, like working with your clan to defeat a boss or something. And this is something they talked about in their answer. They said, we're going to improve the clan growing system and add a clan raid. Sounds interesting. The direction is to implement a system that all clan members contribute to growing the clan, okay, and they get benefits from it. Curious to see what that's going to look like. They said, in addition, we're preparing a clan boss fight, basically like a raid. They said, not sure how many people are going to be involved, but players can compete with other clans through ranking. So kind of like a ranking system, where clans are going to be able to fight a certain boss, and however fast you clear the boss, get the highest rank. Of course, the highest ranks get the best rewards, like Tower of Infinity, same type of ranking system like that. But working with your clan, I think this is cool, and maybe will make clans a little bit more active. I would like to see this a lot. So another thing is for professions and crafting system and casual content. What are they doing? So the Northern Continent that they just mentioned, they said fishing is also going to be improved with various fishing spots and exclusive fish for different spots. So really for me, the fishing thing I don't really care too much about. That's more of the AFK activity. I really want to know what they're going to be doing with the crafting, because they said they're going to be updating that. I feel like crafting in this game is another thing, kind of like the clan system is very lackluster. Like crafting is just kind of like on the back burner. Like no one really cares for it. Like sure, some people craft some like dumplings and stuff. Like it's not a super involved system like it should be for an MMORPG in my opinion. And it's just been kind of ignored for years from NCSoft, so I would really like to see them improve crafting, make it more relevant, make it so you can actually craft some gear, like at a decent cost, like add some mats that you can craft, just stuff that makes it more relevant to the current content you have for upgrading your gear. I feel like it should be a little bit more rewarding, and right now it's just very lackluster. So this is good that they're addressing that. Hopefully we see A little bit more than just them adding more items to the list of professions, but I would like to see a full-on revamp of the crafting system. Next question is, after all the classes get their third specialization, which we are coming up, most of them are almost done. You know, you still have the Astromancer, the Dual Blade, Archer, you know, the Warden. Some of the classes still don't have those, but the majority of them do. Thankfully, they said, what are they going to do after that? What's the future plans for the classes once all the third specs are out? So the answer is they're thinking about the content. Some ideas we have, like Harmoon Devil route. I don't really know what that means, or something like an advanced class. So maybe like a new tier that you upgrade to your class to get new skills and abilities. I don't really know what they mean by Harmoon Devil route. That sounds kind of interesting, but definitely looks like they're going to be adding some new content to the classes after third spec. Keep in mind, this is not going to be until at least 2023, because 2022 they still have to finish out all the third specs to release for the classes. So this is a very, very long-term thing, and they might not even do anything after the third spec. My worry is of course having balance. No one wants to play a class that isn't strong, so we'll have to see how this Harmoon Devil system works out, but that's going to be the near future, not anytime soon. Asked the question, any new types of cosmetics? Basically their answer was that they're planning to add various technologies to bring more visual experience to their cosmetics. One of the costumes I remember, it's called White Knight for the Blade Dancer I have, where it has like the white part around your neck, and whenever you have like the blade, it goes directly through like the white part, and it just looks really dumb. And I don't know, something that bothers me. It makes me want to not wear any costumes that have like a net over the Blade Dancer Lin, because the weapons just go directly through it and it just looks really dumb unless you're in combat. So maybe that's something they can work on too. I don't know, it's kind of like a small complaint, but something that always bothered me when I have the blade on my back. It just goes directly like through the vest. It just doesn't look right. Lastly, they talked about mounts, and this is exclusive to China. Apparently we're supposed to get some type of mounts for Korea and even the West eventually. That's something that's been talked about, especially over in Korea, but I don't know when that's going to be, and maybe that's just a scrapped idea at this point, but they're supposed to come out with Untitled 4 over in Korea. But they talked about the mounts they designed right now is, of course, they only have horses in China, which is kind of interesting in a martial arts game that they only have horse mounts. So they're going to be adding different mounts over in China. They're going to be adding clouds and flying blades, kind of like Swords of Legends Online. If you've seen that game, they have mounts like that, like a flying sword and stuff. So I think that'd be kind of more fitting for a martial arts theme type game. That just makes sense. That's over in China, of course, so maybe eventually we'll get that stuff over in Korea and North America and Europe, but not anytime soon, and not even sure if eventually we're going to get the mounts. Might just be staying a China theme forever, but we'll have to wait and see. Overall, some interesting type of new content. Main things that I took from this that I'm excited about is new clan focus content, which I think is cool. Professions and crafting getting new updated item lists, made some better stuff, more relevant content to craft. And then of course a brand new open world continent like we had Celestial Basin. Northern Continent is going to be the brand new one. I think that's going to be very interesting to see too. Northern Continent kind of reminds me, I'm thinking it's going to be like a snowy area. I mean, I would think, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm just thinking in my brain the North Pole. I don't know why I keep thinking of that, but we'll have to wait and see. Either way, I think this is just some interesting stuff, and hopefully for our development letter we get more detailed stuff, because of course most of this was just translated from China. But that's kind of the focus they have right now. Let me know in the comments below if anything you're excited about, and I'll see you guys in the next video real soon.